What if living to 100 was simpler than you think? Japan's oldest doctor lived to 105, still treating patients at that age. He didn't rely on expensive medications, complicated supplements, or radical diets. His secret? He ate just a handful of ordinary foods every single day. While Americans spend billions on anti-aging products and treatments, this legendary physician maintained clear arteries, razor-sharp memory, and the energy of someone decades younger, well into his 90s. In this video, I will share the 5 principles Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara left behind before his death, and reveal why 90% of diseases will disappear, memory return, cancer dies, and vessels clear when you follow his surprisingly simple routine. The 5th principle shocked even me, and most Americans over 60 are actively avoiding it every day. So stay with me through all 5. Don't skip ahead, and don't assume this doesn't apply to you, because sometimes the key to a longer life isn't in a doctor's office, it's in the everyday habits you barely notice anymore. And if you haven't already, I recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss future videos that help you stay stronger, safer, and more informed every step of the way. Let's begin with principle number 1. Imagine if I told you there's a simple habit that could help you live longer, feel more energetic, and improve your overall health without spending a penny on supplements or fancy diets. Would you try it? In Okinawa, Japan, home to more people over 100 than anywhere else on Earth, they practice something called hara hachi bu. It's not a complex diet plan or an expensive regimen. It simply means eat until you're 80% full, then stop. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, who lived to 105 and worked as a doctor until 100, followed this principle every day of his life. He wasn't restricting himself or punishing his body. He was honoring a 2,500-year-old wisdom that modern science now confirms can transform your health. Think about it. How often do you eat until you're completely stuffed? Most of us were taught to clean our plates. But here's what happens when you stop at 80% full. First, your digestive system gets a break. It doesn't have to work overtime processing extra food, which means better digestion and less bloating, something many of us struggle with as we age. Second, inflammation in your body drops significantly. Did you know that overeating is one of the biggest triggers of inflammation? Inflammation is connected to nearly every age-related condition, from arthritis to heart disease. Third, the oxidative stress that damages your cells decreases by about 30%. That's like giving every cell in your body a shield against aging. And finally, your metabolism begins to rebalance, even if it's been out of whack for decades. Your body starts working with you instead of against you. Let me share a quick story about Helen, a 68-year-old grandmother from Boston. Helen told me, "I grew up during a time when we were told never to waste food. I've cleaned my plate at every meal for over 60 years. After struggling with afternoon fatigue, poor sleep, and constant bloating, Helen decided to try Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara's principle. She wasn't sure it would work. After all, she'd tried so many other things. But after just 17 days, the results surprised even her. Her energy levels soared, especially in the afternoons when she used to crash. Her digestion improved dramatically. And when she checked her blood pressure, which had been a concern for years, it had dropped 8 points. "I wish I'd known about this 30 years ago," she told me. "It's so simple, but nobody ever taught me this." Now here's how you can try this tonight. When you're eating dinner, put your fork down halfway through your meal. Take 3 deep breaths. Then ask yourself, am I still hungry, or am I eating out of habit? This tiny pause, just a few seconds, can change everything about your relationship with food. This isn't about restriction or deprivation. It's about giving your body exactly what it needs, not more. After all, your body is not a trash can for extra food. It's the vessel that carries you through life. But while how much you eat is crucial, what you put on your plate matters just as much. Let me show you the surprising protein source that Japanese centenarians eat daily that most Americans completely overlook. Principle number 2, the plant protein secret. Did you know there's a protein source that could keep your arteries clear, your brain sharp, and your joints pain-free well into your 90s? It's something most Americans actively avoid, especially men over 60, yet it might be the missing piece in your longevity puzzle. Here in America, we've been conditioned to believe that protein equals meat. Steaks, chicken, pork. These are what we think of as real protein. But in Okinawa, where people routinely live past 100 in good health, most of their protein comes from plants, specifically soybeans in forms like tofu, miso, natto, and edamame. This isn't just cultural preference. There's profound wisdom in this choice. Dr. Hinohara ate tofu almost every day of his long life. Even at 100 years old, his arteries remained clear and his mind stayed razor sharp. When medical researchers examined his health records, they were astonished. He had the cardiovascular system of someone decades younger. So what makes plant proteins, especially from soybeans, so powerful? 3 things that could transform your health. First, they provide complete protein without the inflammatory compounds found in most animal products. This means you get all the building blocks your body needs without the silent inflammation that damages your heart and brain. Second, they contain special compounds called isoflavones that actively reduce inflammation throughout your entire body. Think of them as natural firefighters, putting out the small inflammatory fires that lead to big health problems as we age. Third, they're packed with prebiotic fiber that feeds your gut microbiome, those trillions of beneficial bacteria that science now shows control everything from your immune system to your mood and memory. The evidence isn't just anecdotal. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a landmark study showing that people who regularly consumed soy protein had significantly lower LDL cholesterol. That's the bad kind, better bone density, crucial after 60, and measurably less cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. Let me tell you about Frank, a 73-year-old retired engineer I met at one of my workshops. Frank had always avoided soy products. "I heard they weren't good for men," he explained, echoing a common misconception. His cholesterol was high, his joints ached every morning, and by 2 p.m. each day he was completely drained of energy. After learning about the centenarians of Okinawa, Frank decided to try a simple experiment. Just twice a week, he'd replace red meat with a tofu stir-fry. Nothing fancy, just tofu, some vegetables, and a little soy sauce. "I was skeptical," he admitted, "but I figured, what did I have to lose?" 3 weeks later, Frank went in for his regular checkup. His doctor was shocked. His blood pressure had dropped 12 points. The persistent joint pain in his knees had eased substantially. And perhaps most surprisingly, his afternoon energy crash had disappeared. "My doctor asked what new medication I was taking," Frank said with a laugh. I said, "No medication, doc, just tofu twice a week." Now, I'm not suggesting you need to become vegetarian or give up your favorite foods. That's not realistic or necessary. Simply try swapping red meat for plant protein twice a week. Make a simple tofu stir-fry. Add some black beans to your salad. Try a lentil soup instead of beef stew. Small changes consistently applied lead to remarkable results. And the beauty of this approach is that anyone can do it, regardless of cooking skills or dietary preferences. But as powerful as plant proteins are, they're just one piece of the longevity puzzle. The Japanese have another daily habit that could revolutionize your gut health almost overnight, and it's something most Americans have never even tried. Principle number 3, the fermentation factor. What if I told you that the secret to better digestion, stronger immunity, and even sharper brain function after 60 isn't found in a pill bottle or prescription pad, but in a humble jar sitting in the international aisle of your grocery store? Every morning of his remarkably long life, Dr. Hinohara began his day with a simple ritual: a warm bowl of miso soup. Not a probiotic capsule or digestive supplement, but real, living fermented food. This wasn't just a cultural tradition. It was medicine in the most natural form. In Okinawa, fermented foods like miso, pickled vegetables, and natto aren't just side dishes. They're daily essentials that people have been consuming for centuries. And science is finally catching up to what these centenarians have known all along. Why are these foods so powerful? Because they deliver something many Americans over 60 are desperately lacking: living beneficial bacteria that can transform your health from the inside out. When you consume naturally fermented foods, 3 amazing things happen in your body. First, you introduce diverse probiotics that help rebalance your gut microbiome. Think of your gut as a garden that's become overgrown with weeds over time. These beneficial bacteria are like master gardeners, restoring balance and beauty to the ecosystem inside you. Second, these foods provide digestive enzymes that help break down the nutrients your body needs, but might struggle to access as you age. After 60, our natural enzyme production declines, making these fermented foods even more valuable. Third, they contain powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that protect your brain and joints, two areas where inflammation can cause the most trouble as we age. Let me tell you about Claire, a 70-year-old retired librarian I met at a health workshop in Denver. Claire had struggled with chronic bloating, irregular digestion, and that heavy feeling after meals that so many of us experience as we get older. I spent thousands on every probiotic supplement on the market, she told me. I tried fiber powders, digestive enzymes, special teas. Nothing gave me more than temporary relief. Then Claire's neighbor, who had recently returned from visiting family in Japan, gave her a jar of organic miso paste with a simple suggestion: just try a spoonful in warm water every morning. Claire was skeptical but desperate. What did I have to lose? She reasoned. The simplicity surprised her. Each morning, she stirred a teaspoon of miso paste into a mug of warm, not boiling water. It took all of 30 seconds to prepare. By day 10, Claire noticed something remarkable. The chronic bloating she'd battled for years had virtually disappeared. By day 21, her energy remained stable throughout the day instead of crashing after meals. Her digestion became more regular than it had been in decades. I spent years chasing expensive solutions, Claire told me, shaking her head. The answer was in a $5 jar of miso paste all along. The beauty of this approach is that anyone can do it, regardless of cooking skill or experience with Japanese cuisine. You don't need special equipment or hard-to-find ingredients. Start with just a teaspoon of miso paste, available in most grocery stores, stirred into warm water as a morning drink. Or try naturally fermented pickles, found in the refrigerated section, not the shelf-stable kind, with your lunch. Even a small serving of sauerkraut or kimchi can introduce these beneficial bacteria to your system. These aren't exotic foods requiring culinary expertise. They're simple additions anyone can incorporate into their daily routine with minimal effort and expense. Your gut, and by extension, your brain, your joints, and your immune system will thank you for it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward to Principle 4. Principle number 4, the purple powerhouse. What if I told you that one of the most powerful foods for longevity is something most doctors tell Americans over 60 to avoid completely? This purple powerhouse could be the missing link in your quest for better blood sugar, sharper memory, and more energy. Yet, most of us have been warned away from it for years. In Okinawa, Japan, purple sweet potatoes aren't just an occasional treat, they make up over 60% of the daily calories for centenarians. Yes, you heard that right, carbs, but not just any carbs. When I first learned this, I was shocked. Like many of you, I'd been told that carbohydrates were the enemy after a certain age. Cut carbs to lose weight, avoid starches to control blood sugar, follow a low-carb diet to stay sharp. These messages are everywhere in American health media. So why are Japanese people who live past 100 eating so many sweet potatoes? The answer lies in their unique properties that actually support longevity rather than detract from it. Japanese purple sweet potatoes contain 4 powerful elements that can transform your health. First, they're rich in anthocyanins, the same compounds that give blueberries their reputation as a superfood. These powerful antioxidants protect your blood vessels and fight cellular aging at its source. They're what give these potatoes their striking purple color. Principle 5, the joy factor. Each year, not better. After learning about the Okinawan diet, Paul's nutritionist suggested a counterintuitive experiment. Add a half cup of steamed purple sweet potato to his lunch each day. Paul was skeptical, but willing to try. He found purple sweet potatoes at his local Asian market and steamed them. No butter, no sugar, just the simple purple tuber. The results surprised everyone, especially his doctor. Within just 2 weeks, his energy remained stable throughout the afternoon. No more 3 p.m. crashes. His cravings for sweets virtually disappeared. And most surprising of all, his blood sugar readings were more stable than they'd been in months. "My doctor couldn't believe it," Paul said. "She actually asked to see my food journal because the improvement was so dramatic." The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. You don't need to be a gourmet chef or nutrition expert. Steam or bake a purple sweet potato, available at many grocery stores and Asian markets, and enjoy a small portion with lunch or dinner. There is no special preparation, no complex recipes. You don't need to fear carbs. You need to choose the right ones, the ones that humans have thrived on for centuries before processed foods entered our diets. What if I told you the most powerful longevity secret isn't something you eat at all? What if living longer and better had less to do with what's on your plate and more to do with what's in your heart? When researchers interviewed Dr. Hinohara in his 90s, they expected to hear about his strict diet regimen or supplement routine. Instead, they found something surprising. He didn't follow any strict diet at all. He didn't count calories or macros. He didn't obsess over food rules. What he did follow was a rhythm, a simple, joyful approach to daily life that might be the missing ingredient in America's quest for longevity. Even at 97 years old, Dr. Hinohara took the stairs instead of elevators. He carried his own bags. He wrote books, gave lectures, and maintained a childlike curiosity about the world around him. But perhaps most striking to everyone who knew him, he smiled. A lot. To stay young. He once said in an interview that went viral in Japan, "You must have fun." When I first heard this, it sounded nice, but perhaps too simple. Surely there was more to his remarkable longevity than just having fun, right? But the more I researched, the more I realized this wasn't just philosophical advice. It was deeply rooted in how our bodies function. Modern science now confirms 3 powerful ways joy impacts our physical health. First, chronic stress accelerates cellular aging by up to 10 years. The constant flood of stress hormones literally damages your DNA, leading to faster aging and increased disease risk. Joy and laughter do the opposite. They reduce stress hormones and promote cellular repair. Second, joyful activities trigger measurable anti-inflammatory responses in your body. When you laugh, create, connect with others, or simply pause to appreciate beauty, your body produces fewer inflammatory compounds, the same ones linked to heart disease, arthritis, and cognitive decline. Third, and this one shocked even the scientists studying it, strong social connections and a sense of purpose reduce all-cause mortality by up to 50%. That's more powerful than quitting smoking, exercising daily, or any single medication. Let me tell you about Marie, a 71-year-old former teacher I met at a community center in Chicago. Marie had spent decades obsessing over diet labels and nutrition rules. She could tell you the calorie count of every food in her kitchen and had tried every trending diet. "I was so focused on controlling everything I ate that I'd stopped enjoying food altogether," she told me. Meals became a source of anxiety rather than pleasure. And despite all that effort, my health was getting worse, not better. After learning about Dr. Hinohara's approach, Marie decided to make a shift. Not in what she ate, but in how she lived around her food. She began walking 20 minutes every morning, not as exercise, but as a way to notice her neighborhood. She took time for tea in the afternoon, just to breathe and be still. She planted herbs on her windowsill and found joy in watching them grow. The changes were small, she said, but the impact was enormous. For the first time in decades, I feel like I'm living, not just surviving. What Marie discovered wasn't just psychological. Her blood pressure improved, her sleep deepened, and even her digestion became more comfortable. All from adding joy, not just subtracting bad foods. The beautiful thing about this principle is that it costs nothing and requires no special equipment or expertise. Anyone can begin today, regardless of age, income, or circumstances. Take a moment at dinner tonight to truly taste your food instead of rushing through it. Call an old friend just to share a laugh. Step outside to feel the sun on your face for 5 minutes. These aren't frivolous indulgences, they're powerful medicine. Health isn't just physical, it's emotional, mental, rhythmic. Don't just count protein, count quiet mornings. Don't just reduce sugar, increase laughter. Don't just fix your diet, nourish your spirit. Let's bring it all together. The 5 principles we've explored today aren't complicated strategies requiring special ingredients or expert knowledge. They're simple shifts practiced daily by some of the longest living people on Earth, inspired by Japan's remarkable 105-year-old doctor. Eat until you're 80% full. It helps digestion, energy, and longevity. Add more plant proteins like tofu and beans. Easy to cook, easy on your body. Include fermented foods like miso, good bacteria that strengthen your immunity. Choose smart carbs like purple sweet potatoes. They fuel you without spiking your blood sugar. Live light, eat light, and smile often. Rhythm, simplicity, and joy matter more than perfect nutrition. You don't need to change everything at once. That's not how lasting transformation happens. Just start with one principle today. Maybe it's putting your fork down halfway through dinner. Maybe it's adding a spoonful of miso to your morning routine. Maybe it's simply taking a moment to smile and breathe between bites. Which of these 5 principles resonated most with you? Let me know in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own journey. If you found value in today's video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about. Subscribe for more science-backed wisdom that most doctors won't tell you about aging well. And remember, it's never too late to add life to your years, not just years to your life. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll uncover a popular health food that might actually be accelerating aging in your body. You won't want to miss it.